their 14th Super Cup, the first since 2018. And Michael, Owen Hargreaves with me in the studio. An important milestone for the club, Michael, do you feel, was Xavi trying to return them back to the good times? You can see what that means.
It does. It means an awful lot to them, doesn't it? I think it is important, Lindsay. Yeah, I do. You know, with what they've gone through in recent times, then to bounce back, to be, you know, at the top of the league in La Liga, to win their first trophy, that man will be delighted to get his first trophy on the board. I think it's a big thing because, as I say, I've been really impressed with how quickly they bounce back. We all know that Barcelona were going to bounce back, but after the awful reports on how much they were in debt and how many players they had to sell, to bounce back and to put on a performance like that with such a good squad of players as well, pretty impressive.
So many good performances all over the pitch as well, Owen. Did it look like they just wanted it more?
No, I just thought they were better in virtually every phase. They won every individual battle. Credit Xavi, you know, even he won the individual battle with Carlo Ancelotti. Not many do that. Tactically, masterstroke playing Gavi off the left. He's normally a central midfield player, but within a goal and 2 assists, he was absolutely brilliant. I think he's 18 years old. He's amazing. Pedri completely ran the game. Think about that against Modric and Kroos. Nobody does that, but Xavi's stock just went right up with that because that was an exceptional performance from the whole team.
Xavi was saying that Pedri and Gavi are better than him and Iniesta were at their ages. Are they that good, Michael?
Well, I was about to laugh at what you said there. I was about to say he's being modest, but I suppose at that age, then it might be a fair comment. If they then continue to improve and turn out to be as good as Iniesta and Xavi and have that illustrious career that they had, then, wow, we're looking at two superstars in the making. I mean, yeah, visually now they look exceptional. You know, we hear a lot about them, we watch them. They look two real elite players, especially Pedri. I think he could be anything he wants to be.
Just a joy to watch both of them as the whole team were tonight, and as the celebrations continue out in Saudi Arabia. We'll have more reaction coming up shortly. Next weekend, though, a reminder that we have a huge clash coming up for you in the Premier League. We are at Anfield as Liverpool welcome Chelsea, two sides struggling in the Premier League this season, and also another unmissable showdown, this time in the ring. And that's Britain's Anthony Yarde taking on the biggest challenge of his career in the shape of WBC, WBO and IBF champion Artur Beterbiev at Wembley. Well, a really bad night for Real Madrid in Saudi Arabia. Brilliant, though, from Barcelona. Gavi, Lewandowski and Pedri with their first El Clasico goals to secure Xavi's first piece of silverware as Barca manager.
Lewandowski to play this in, and Gavi is there to put Barcelona ahead. Gavi and Lewandowski waiting in the middle, easy for him, 2-0 Barcelona. Lewandowski to Gavi, 3-0. Pedri arriving, converts it, and Barcelona are running away with this.
Barcelona are the Spanish Super Cup champions, outclassing Real Madrid tonight by 3-1 out in Riyadh. Just how big a boost is that for Xavi then, Michael, winning that against their biggest rivals and also against a more experienced coach in Carlo Ancelotti?
Well, he took over, obviously, you know, a bit of a mess, and you have to think it was a great time to take over them in many ways. OK, people can have sympathy for him, but Barcelona are never going to be on the floor for too long. But he appears to have gotten bouncing quite quickly, quicker than I expected anyway. And then to have a start to the La Liga season like he's had, to win his first piece of silverware halfway through the season, you know, it's pretty impressive. He was, of course, an unbelievable player himself, and we've seen so many players that have been great at Barcelona then take over in the hot seat and do a great job. So no reason to believe he's not going to be another one. And, as I say, great start to his managerial career.
How bright is the future for this team, do you think?
Remarkable, actually, really. I think he's such an exciting young coach. They play in the Barcelona way with Pedri and Gavi, two of the best young midfield players in the world. I thought Araujo looks like one of the best young centre-backs in the world. Today he played as a right-back. I really think, watching him play, I don't think many players could do what he did to Vinicius Jr. in terms of he was the aggressor. He was always pushing him. Normally Vinny Jr. beats everybody 1v1. So I think with the coach and the players, obviously hopefully they can sort the money situation out. But that would shock a lot of people, that performance, because it was top class. And I think you add in a Lewandowski, who makes the difference at the top of the pitch. Barcelona, they look like they're back.
It's actually staggering how they're not in the Champions League. Because if they were still in the Champions League, you'd be looking at them thinking, wow, they could be the favourites. They were in a really tricky group, and of course, Inter and Bayern got through that. But a lot of people will be watching and having a bit of a sigh of relief there, thinking, thank God we don't have to face them in the Champions League.
It's all happening this weekend. Man United are back, Barca are back, and of course they've got to meet each other in the Europa League as well, which is going to be fascinating now.
Yeah, that will be a fabulous game. Obviously, two iconic teams, great history. Obviously, normally history in Champions League finals, but something's going to give there. When you watch Barcelona play like that, then you realise that will be an incredibly difficult game over the two legs.
You said they're playing the Barca way. How different or how similar is this Barca under Xavi, the way they're playing, compared to the best Barca under Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, I think that's probably why he got the job. Michael mentioned all the ex-players that have had the job there with Pep and Luis Enrique, and I think they demand that. You have to play that type of football. And it looks, the way they were popping the ball about, having an extra midfield player in there, that is the Barca way. We played against those teams. Honestly, it's soul-destroying. You're just literally chasing people, chasing shadows. So Xavi was the best at that. You couldn't get anywhere near him. Even though physically he couldn't run away from you, he wasn't that strong, but he was always 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. And they play in that way, and it was fun to watch today, because last season when we saw them, it was almost sad to watch them, how poor they were. And today, that's the Barca that we're used to.
How concerning is this little period after the World Cup for Real Madrid, Michael, do you think? Just a bit of a blip?
Yeah, I think so. They've still got a great team. You look at that team on paper, it's a very good team. They have got 1 or 2 injuries as well that they left back at home in Spain. So, yeah, I think it's a little worry, but we all know Real Madrid, when the trophies are dished out towards the end of the season, they're always there.
Does it feel like this really means more to Barcelona, this Super Cup win?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Real Madrid and you're winning the league and you're winning the Champions Leagues, even if they won this, they probably wouldn't have celebrated that much. But I think get David Alaba back, get Tchouaméni back, they'll look a different side. But that would be a big blow, losing in such a big fashion to Barcelona for Real Madrid. But I'm with Michael. You look at when the end of the season comes, they'll be right there when there's an opportunity to win something.
This, of course, means a lot. It's a big moment, but it's really all about La Liga now for them, Michael. Do you think, with them dropping out of the Champions League, they absolutely need that? It's a huge priority for them financially and just in terms of getting them back to where they need to be.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously the barometer of any club, isn't it? How you do in the league is so important. So, yeah, I mean, that is their task now. They're out of the big European competition, but hey, they've still got plenty of other competitions to go for. But as you say, the La Liga's the one. If they can reign supreme in that again, then you can well and truly say Barca are back, and then they could be a force again in the biggest competition, of course, in Europe, the Champions League.
Interesting to see the 2 bosses there, Florentino Perez and Laporta. Obviously, it's always those 2 go head to head. But you think in the summer, with potential players who could come and make the difference at Real. I think everybody would be thinking Mbappe, but it looks like Barca are back. They've got a good team out there, and I think they're only going to continue to improve, but that will give everybody confidence in the project.
Usually going head-to-head, but perhaps some mutual interest to talk about at the moment, given the situation with the 2 clubs and the failed Super League project and things like that. So plenty to talk about for them at the moment, but for Barca, this will be a big turning point. They will be hoping in terms of where they can go for the rest of the season in turning their situation around, because it is, Michael, a mess off the pitch.
It is, but on the pitch, that was pretty special tonight. That was a very, very good performance. And you look at the players individually, it's a very good team, and also it's a team that you can see getting better and better. There's a lot of youngsters. OK, there's the likes of Busquets that won't be there forever, but there's a few young players in there that could be the future of this team. So as much as they've got problems off the pitch, the main thing is to get it right on the pitch, and then I'm sure the problems off the pitch will flow and get a lot better.
Busquets still delivering in appearance number 701 for Barcelona tonight, Owen.
Brilliant performance, and you know, just the way he sits at the base of midfield, controls the tempo. Gavi and Pedri were the perfect partners to kind of play alongside, and Frankie de Jong looked great as well. So, I mean, he must love playing in a team like that with all those little options in around him. They popped the ball around. It was a masterclass from that whole midfield.
Well, it has been a night of firsts tonight. Gavi, Lewandowski and Pedri with their first El Clasico goals, and now Xavi about to lift his first trophy as Barcelona manager. So let me hand you back to Ian Dog for the trophy presentation.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, Lindsay. The Real Madrid players who've had to hang around, of course. He must just want to get back to the dressing room and get on the coach and get out of there. But they've won often enough. This time they have to take the runners-up medals in the Super Cup, and the players will be honest enough with themselves to know that they were well beaten tonight. There will be other nights, of course, for Real Madrid, as there always are, it seems. But they were off it tonight, weren't they, Macca?
Yes, they were. They were well beaten this evening. There's no moaning about that. The better team won, better team prevailed, showed more class, more energy. They'll remember this. You do remember things when you lose. It's a humbling experience waiting around this. Florentino Perez, of course, president of Real Madrid, next to Juan Laporta. There'll be more battles to come for the two presidents, like they have had in the past.
So the Barcelona players are waiting their moment of glory. There are bigger trophies in Spain, of course, La Liga, the Copa del Rey, but this will mean a lot to Barcelona, because it's a little sign maybe that there's a break in the clouds that have hung over the club for a couple of years now with their very deep financial problems. And the president, Laporta, has kind of risked his own reputation on pulling economic levers, to use the Barcelona phrase, to try to keep this club competitive and somewhere near the top. So they need silverware, lots of it.
Yes, they do. This is the first that he hopes will be of many. First time they're lifting silverware without Lionel Messi. So that's a huge point of Barcelona's history. Is this the new history led by Gavi and Pedri and Balde?
So here come the Barcelona players. Many of them picking up their first Barcelona trophies. Players like Gavi, the man of the match, Pedri, Lewandowski, summer signing Koundé, Balde, who starred in that left-back role tonight. He looks one very much for the future as well as the present. So they'll cherish these medals. Busquets, captaining the side tonight, has won it 6 times before. It's his 7th, and of course he's the link really to the previous golden era, alongside Xavi himself and Iniesta in midfield, and when Lionel Messi was terrorizing defences in a Barcelona shirt for 2 decades before his move to Paris. Federation President Luis Rubiales handing out those medals, which mean Barcelona have won the Super Cup, and it's always a special win when they've beaten Real Madrid in any competition. They'll hope to score a much more meaningful victory over them by winning La Liga ahead of them. That's all to come in a fascinating second part of the season in Spain. But they looked a very, very good side tonight, Barcelona. I mean, Michael Owen said it, if they were still in the Champions League, you'd start to wonder whether they could really make a big impact. But in the autumn, they misfired in that competition and went out again.
Oh, they're certainly improving, Ian, aren't they? We all see that. You can see it visually. They're much better now than they were 2 months ago, and they're much better now than they were 6 months ago. And they're only going to get better.
So here's the moment. It means a lot for Barcelona. Busquets, the popular captain, lifts the trophy. Barcelona beat Real Madrid in an El Clasico Super Cup, and I think it means, and we say it with maybe a little bit of qualification, but Barcelona just might be back.
Barcelona winning a first piece of silverware for Xavi as the Barca manager out in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. A big moment for him. He'll be hoping that can fire them on for the rest of the season. They play Man United in the Europa League. They are currently 3 points clear as well at the top of La Liga. Michael, are they looking like a side who can really stay the course in the league as well after what you've seen tonight?
Definitely. I mean, Steve McManaman referred to it in commentary, the squad depth as well. Some of the players have almost got too many players. So, yeah, they absolutely can. This is going to be a really good run-in for the title, I would suggest. And getting your first trophy, you know, the first time you've gone to a final and winning it, it doesn't half set you up well for the future. You know, you feel like winners, you feel like champions, you feel like favourites going into the next one. So I think this is a new beginning for Barcelona, a fresh new start, and it looks as if it's started on the right note.
Quite the celebration in Saudi Arabia there as well, Owen, going to town with the fireworks.
Yeah, they look like they're enjoying themselves. Obviously, they've taken the Super Copa there to Saudi Arabia. Was a big call, but financially, I think the teams needed it. And for Barcelona, I mean, you know, within the camp and the players and the energy, you know, they got a good mix of experienced players with some great young ones. And Xavi's just done an incredible job of turning this around. We were covering them in Champions League when they were getting pulled apart in some of those, you know, almost iconic games, really, the way they were losing, especially remember the Munich one. But they're all smiles today, and they look a threat. They really do. So if they can win a couple more trophies this season, then they'll be back strong next season.
And if this was a test this week as well, playing Atletico in the league, they won that to go 3 clear, and then beating Madrid in an El Clasico, they've certainly passed it.
Yeah, happy times at the moment for Barcelona fans. And as I said before, they've got young players that you think this squad's going to grow together. It is really exciting, and as I say, they must have been, the fans and the players, and everyone connected to the club, that must have been so depressed over the last year or so with all the problems off the pitch. But they've got no problems on the pitch, and they'll continue to, you know, if the team continue to play like that, then that'll solve a lot of the problems off the pitch, because the finances will roll in if they keep winning all these trophies.
Well, as the party continues in Saudi Arabia, after the break, we'll take a look back at all the goals from the final of the Spanish Super Cup as Barcelona outclass their greatest rivals to win the Super Copa 3-1. It's a first trophy for coach Xavi after a superb performance. The first El Clasico of 2023 saw Barcelona crowned the Super Copa champions as they ran riot in Saudi Arabia, beating Real Madrid 3-1, with 18-year-old Gavi stealing the show with a goal and 2 assists. And Michael Owen Hargreaves are with me here. Let's have a look at how they did it then, Michael, and go back to that first goal. And it really came from the Barca press, really paying off.
It did, yeah. Barca were the best team right from minute one, really, Lindsay. Real Madrid here losing the ball, a dangerous ball from Rudiger. And then once you lose the ball there, you've got to squeeze in quickly. What Barcelona do brilliantly, you see Pedri already looking, checking his shoulder. What they do is they penetrate quickly. Ball in quick, ball again in quick from Lewandowski. And then Gavi takes a brilliant touch. Waits, takes it on his back foot, takes it away from the defender. It's a lovely finish, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, it was class. I mean, everybody's pressing. Dembele's pressing, Busquets is pressing. Great awareness from Pedri and Lewandowski, and the young 18-year-old with a brilliant start to the game. And Xavi will be proud of that, you know, because obviously they're good on the ball, but the press is what got that first goal.
Just how good is the touch, Michael? Why did you like it so much?
Well, you've always got to be aware of what's your danger around you when you're about to score a goal. And you've also got to be aware of how that touch, where you take the ball, is going to affect, you know, the finish. Are you going to make it harder by taking it on a tighter angle, or make it easier? So an easier finish would be to take it on your right foot, take it closer to the goal, keeps your goal open. But because he had a man on his right-hand side to take it away, almost just, that's it. He's gone. He's out the equation now. And he didn't take it far enough away to narrow his angle. So it's these decisions, these tiny decisions that you make quickly as a footballer. And as I say, letting it come across his body just negated the defence. There was just no chance any defender was going to tackle him then. And I liked his finish as well. He just lifted it slightly. Dembele missed a chance in the second half. And I just thought, a lot of the time when you're in one-on-one, you've just got to lift. I'm not talking about high, smacking it, into the roof of the net. I'm just talking like a yard off the floor. A lot of the time, a goalkeeper's leg will trail and it'll be on the floor, the way they spread themselves, and just a little lift. It was a really clever finish from a youngster.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then he turned provider, didn't he? His first assist of the night for Lewandowski, Owen, but there was some error-strewn Real Madrid defending in this one.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, really good play from Barcelona. Christensen into Busquets, into De Jong. Gavi's run on the channels and a simple tap, and that almost looked like a Manchester City goal. But if you look at Real Madrid, Militao and Carvajal, they both go into the same ball, and Gavi realises and recognises the space, and that was basically a theme of the game, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, normally you can expect somebody to make one mistake, but for both of them to make the same mistake at the same time, it's unforgivable, that is. It really is. I mean, it's just a judgment call. You know how fast the ball's moving towards you. You absolutely should be able to make the right decision. This is the next goal, and we just feel that Busquets was blocking the view there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and I think he tries to play the ball square. It's a bad ball in. But again, you look back, Toni Kroos there. He's looking back. He sees Dembele, but Pedri's in behind him, and. That's that square ball. Managers say never play square midfield, and they get picked off, and they just...
It's far too easy, though, isn't it?
Well, it is. Rudiger's far over, and then Mendy has to come over from his left-back position, which leaves Toni Kroos at the back post. So they were just... Defensively, they made a lot of mistakes, which you don't normally see from a team like Real Madrid. And
good for Pedri to get in on the act for his first El Clasico goal as well.
Absolutely. I think he's got stardust, hasn't he? He could go on to becoming one of the greats. He could emulate his manager, winning all those trophies, being a dominant force in midfield for years and years. He's just got something special. And, scoring goals, getting more goals will probably be one thing that he thinks, right, if I'm going to take my game to the top level, I probably need to score more goals as well.
And telling as well that when Real Madrid got their consolation goal, it was after Araujo had left the pitch, Owen, after he'd been subbed off.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I mean, physically, he's a big presence, size-wise. But he's so aggressive. The way he approached Vinicius Jr., I thought was brilliant. He didn't give him any time. We've seen Vinny Jr. tear everybody up when he's running at them and dribbling, but I think Araujo could have matched him physically, and I think he enjoyed that. Yeah,
interesting. He only played one of the games in the Champions League because of injury, so things perhaps could have been quite different if he had have been there.
He's young, he's got presence, he's got a great physique. I mean, Owen, you think he could get to the very, very top of the game, but soon time will tell. But this is an exciting time for Barcelona.
It certainly is. Guys, thank you very much for your company tonight. Barcelona are the Spanish Super Cup champions after a dominant display against Real Madrid. Gavi, the golden boy tonight.